Good morning, everyone. This is quite an honor for me as we celebrate the accomplishments of today's SUNY New Paltz graduates. Congratulations. Thank you, President Christian and SUNY New Paltz for this honorary degree, and thanks also to the SUNY Board of Trustees for their approval of this honor. I would now like to recognize and thank a few people here. My wife of 43 years, Jeannie. My children, Everton and Jeannie, two proud New Paltz alums. Everton's wife, Crystal. My aunt, Melody. My sister, Dr. Tamsin Wolf, and her husband, Dr. Bob Wolf. And my good friends, Bud Walker, Amy Walker, Carol Campion, and of course, Giancarlo Traverso, that's there. And I just see Tony Hawkins in the audience and Lee Wright. President Christian, as this is your last commencement exercise as the president of SUNY New Paltz, I want to publicly thank you for your 12 years of leadership and congratulate you on your accomplishments. You kept your steady hands at the helm and guided New Paltz on a grand trajectory. Thank you again, and best wishes on your retirement. And now to my formal remarks. Congratulations again, graduates, on your accomplishments. You've worked hard, and today is your day to celebrate and receive the recognition you so justly deserve. For some of you, there are questions in the back of your minds like, what will happen next? What will I do? What does this all mean, and how will my future unfold? This is normal, so don't panic. Some of you may be sure of yourselves and already have answers, and some may even be bold enough to believe that you have your future under control. For you, I say, be flexible, because life is full of curveballs. Fortunately for all of you, you have an ace in the hole. You have a SUNY New Paltz education that has equipped you with good skills to navigate the curveballs and turn them into hits, and in some cases, home runs. In 1978, I sat where you are with some of the same thoughts. I remember thinking how cool it was to be a commencement speaker, but never thought that one day I would be here. You see, being the first one in my maternal family to get a college degree was already the pinnacle of success. I was born in Jamaica, West Indies. My biological mother was a black woman and a direct descendant of slaves. My mother died when I was 5, and well, let's say my father just disappeared. This is always a tough part for me. My maternal grandmother, Matilda Cox, raised me. We were in a little 2-room house. We had no money, no running water, and she was really too old to work. We depended on the few crops we grew for food, and so we were hungry most of the time. We had no shoes. I mean, it's hard to describe unless you've experienced it. Fortunately, her eldest son, my Uncle George, although struggling in Chicago, somehow managed to send $10 every month for us, which kept us afloat. Now, my grandmother believed in education, and so I walked barefooted to primary school for miles under the tropical sun. I was bright enough and skipped a grade, but at age 10, I was sent to dunce class. Yes, back then we had 2 classes. We had a dunce class and a bright class. Fortunately for me, the dunce class teacher, Mrs. Spence, thought I belonged in bright class. The class is allowed to take the common entrance exam. Passing that exam provided opportunity to attend the premier high schools on the island. Mrs. Spence helped with my birth certificate and registered me for the exam. This could have been a problem, of course, because we were required to wear shoes to enter the exam room, and I had none. But luckily, my Uncle Lawrence sent me a pair. I can still remember that wonderful smell of new leather and how good it felt to have shoes, even though they were actually 2 sizes too big. In later years, my uncle explained that he didn't have the money to buy another pair later, so he got me something I would grow into. That selfless act by Mrs. Spence changed my life. I became the first person in my district to pass the common entrance exam. I was admitted to Manning's High School the oldest continuously operating and one of the most prestigious high schools on the island. The scholarship came with a stipend of 20 pounds. That is the most money my grandmother had ever seen at one time. That high school changed my life. It opened my eyes to new possibilities unimagined before. So after high school, I got a 13 pounds per week job that came with housing and a saddled mule. Yeah, the mule is important. Later, another company offered me a 30 pounds per week position, which I accepted. Two important life lessons came from that move. One, salary is not the end all. It is what you have after expenses that matters. The new job had me train a new employee, then made him my supervisor because I didn't have a bachelor's degree. The idea of going to college was now deeply rooted in my mind, and so my grandmother's second son, Ronald Henriques, and his wife, Flona, adopted me so I could attend college in New York City. I refused at that time to leave my grandmother, and I only came to New York after she died. I left New York City and lived with my aunt and uncle, Gloria and Carmel Forrester, on an apple farm in Milton, New York, not too far from here. At that time, I had no money, no transportation, but luckily I got a minimum wage night job in Poughkeepsie, so I worked overnight for the overtime. A kind co-worker, Ed Sutcliffe, transported me to and from Milton until I could move to Poughkeepsie, where the Stokes and Fitzgerald families provided shelter and friendship. I applied to Vassar College, Marist, and SUNY New Paltz, and was accepted to all three. New Paltz's tuition cost made the decision for me, a decision that I now think was one of the best in my life. In fall 1974, on the first day of Calculus 1 in Old Main over there, I met this skinny little girl with big glasses. Yes, you guessed it. That was Jeannie. She's still here. We hung out together. She was a math major, and she had textbooks, so I took the same courses as her and shared her books. I quit the Poughkeepsie job and became a full-time student. Things were financially difficult, so I worked a few odd jobs locally. Two chemistry professors, Dr. Angela Spatsis, the chair of the chemistry department, and Dr. Jim Campion took an interest in me. Dr. Patsis became my mentor and supervised both my undergraduate and graduate research. Dr. Campion was my advisor and cheerleader who continuously encouraged me to start my own company. He set a seed. Both remained good friends and advisors until their premature deaths. In 1978, I walked across this very stage, married Jeannie, settled in the region. I then went to work for Texaco and later IBM, where I discovered something important, that SUNY New Paltz prepared me well for industry. In my 6 years at IBM, I received the IBM Inventors of the Year award 3 times. I co-founded my first company with my boss and former SUNY New Paltz Foundation board member, the late Jim Kehoe. Later, Jim and I, together with 2 other partners, co-founded our second venture, Plasmica Inc. With the help of venture capital investments, we did a leveraged buyout of IBM Kingston's plasma display manufacturing line and relocated it to Highland. At Plasmico, we demonstrated color technology, and Panasonic bought the company. With Panasonic's funding, we developed and made the first full-color, high-definition 60-inch plasma TV in the world in 1999. Our technology helped to launch Panasonic's large-format plasma TV program. 5 years after the Panasonic purchase, I was the only co-founder retained. I remained a Panasonic vice president for 13 years until they closed the doors, at which time I retired. So, in my story, I deliberately called out names. Why? I believe the names of good people should be spoken aloud and recognized from dinner tables to podiums. Thank you. Thank you. Although I'm grateful and humbled by today's honor, I accept it, not only for me, but also for the names I mentioned. Now, I would like to highlight for some of you the takeaways that I hope my story attempted to convey. The first one, do not be afraid of adversity, because its bitterness helps to sweeten the taste of success. Most people who only had success in life are incapable of truly appreciating the sweetness and the joy of it to the fullest. Use adversity for what it is, a tool that provides valuable experience and knowledge to navigate the next pitfall in life. My life experiences certainly taught me that. Second, be thoughtful, considerate, and kind, because you never know the positive impact a simple act of kindness may have. Mrs. Spence and my Uncle Lawrence did something that could be considered small, but it made a huge difference for me. Without their kindness, I would not have gotten the scholarship to go to Manning's and would not have gone to college and developed the invention that helped to facilitate Plasmacare's contribution to Panasonic's plasma program. Third, do not chase after the first shiny object you see, but instead use your great SUNY New Paltz education to help you to do your due diligence. Simply put, what happens to be great on the surface could result in misfortune. For me, that was very real when I changed jobs from 13 pounds to 30 pounds per week without considering all the associated expenses and the mule. Fourth, be prepared to take advantage of opportunities. Here at SUNY New Paltz, you are well trained in how to learn. Use it to continue learning so that you're not caught unprepared for a new opportunity, as I was when I did not have a bachelor's degree. And if my story doesn't drive that home, then ask yourself what happened to the company Blockbuster when streaming took wings. You folks might remember that. Fifth, you do not have to do it alone. Find yourself a mentor, and while at it, become a mentor as well. Yes, it is commendable to do great things by yourself. However, not everyone can or should. Remember, there is no shame in seeking good guidance. I was fortunate to have good mentors here at New Paltz. 6, be grateful. Don't hesitate to thank your parents, loved ones, and others who touch your lives. Showing gratitude encourages the giver. As a matter of fact, I invite you to join me now in a round of applause and gratitude to your supporters here today. Thank you. Finally, do not forget where you came from. Remember SUNY New Paltz, and remember to give back so others may benefit and carry on your legacy of giving. Graduates, I know you will succeed because your years at New Paltz are unique. Not only did you work hard, but you also had the challenge of the COVID-19 pandemic. Yes, despite this, you've developed resilience, flexibility, and adaptability. You met the academic challenge and excelled such that today you would receive full recognition as graduates. To you, today's graduates of SUNY New Paltz, I congratulate you again, and I wish you great success. Now go forth and proudly wear your orange and blue, and let the world know that you have arrived prepared, and not with just any old education, but with a SUNY New Paltz education. Thank you. May God bless you.